Hi, my name is Jeremy and today I will be presenting you my final exam for philosophy. So the very first question that I chose to answer was number 1. We have covered a wide range of thinkers this semester, from religious thinkers and existentialists to civil rights activists and progressive thought leaders. Using at least 3 examples from the semester define the word philosopher. A philosopher is someone who thoroughly analyzes different ideas. The ideas that a philosopher analyzes are endless. They can be about anything. Things such as religion, reason, morality, evil, and life just in general. The way that the philosopher Aristotle sees it in page 10 of the textbook is that a philosopher is one that lives a contemplated life. By contemplated life, what Aristotle means is that the philosopher lives his life in constant thought about things. The type of thought the philosopher goes beyond the type of thought that the people normally have, and many of times even challenges the set norms. A philosopher and a non-philosopher carry their train of thought quite differently most of the time. Let's say, for example, you're picking out cereal in the morning. You pick out Cinnamon Toast Crunch because you love the taste of cinnamon. A philosopher would go into thinking things such as, where does the desire of eating come from? Is an evil genius the one controlling what we think as Descartes beliefs? Did we have an innate idea that Cinnamon Toast Crunch is delicious, or is that not possible because, as John Locke believes, we learn things from our experience? Now one's choice of cereal is a silly example, perhaps, and is something the philosophers do not directly explore, but it goes to show how a philosopher may carry out their train of thought. The way the philosopher thinks can get him or her into lots of trouble at times, because most philosophers think out of the ordinary and they take action. Hannah Arendt is a philosopher who was quite controversial, and even her closest friends started to go against her when she explained the idea of the banality of evil. In the case of Adolf Eichmann, the banality of evil is a concept developed by Arendt in which a normal person can do the most unspeakable things when they stop thinking for themselves. That entails that a person involved lets others determine their identity, their actions, and their thoughts. Due to the corruption of thoughts, many philosophers live their contemplative lives in solitude. People like Arendt and Aristotle believed that action or the political realm was actually vital to a philosopher's life. Overall, a philosopher, as Descartes sees himself, is a thinking thing. Now, so why is it important to be a thinking thing? Why must we too be like philosophers whom are critical thinkers? This is something that is asked on the second question. The question asks, why do you think it is important to be a critical thinker? I think it is important to be a critical thinker because it allows us to live more meaningful lives. If we live our lives just constantly doing things and never stop to think, then we miss out on a lot of things. We miss out in figuring out why we do the things we do. Why do we find things moral or immoral? Many of the times we find things moral and immoral because of what has been instilled in us by our parents since we were children. One of the things that we could have grown up with is being part of a certain type of religion. I was brought up in a Christian home, and I am very thankful for it because knowing about God is something that is a big part of who I am. I know that there is many people out there who have grown up the same way that I have and have not chosen to follow the faith. And there's others that haven't grown up at all in a Christian household that have and will continue to challenge the beliefs that I may have. Now, I know that I will never convince everybody to think the way I do, but I can be a part of engaging conversations by being a critical thinker. It is important for me to be a critical thinker and think about the questions many of the people who may not, for example, believe in God may have. By considering the reasons that I have for believing God and considering the reasons why people do not believe in Him, I can engage in productive conversations with others. Pulling out our mom's or big sister phrase of, because I said so is not going to fly, in conversations with others. We must have reasons for the ideas we have. Leah Venice is a critical thinker who believes that there is a reason for everything, and that even God had a reason to create what He created. There isn't always going to be a clean-cut answer, but Bertrand Russell believes that this is a vital part of being a critical thinker. He finds the question more interesting than the answer. He says, "These questions enlarge our conception of what is possible and enrich our intellectual imagination." As Bertrand points out here, asking all sorts of questions allows us to really broaden our understanding of the world, and that is why it is important to be a critical thinker. The other question that I chose to answer is the fourth question. From the very earliest day of human reflection, metaphysics has been a central concern. We spent several weeks talking about metaphysics. What is metaphysics, and why is metaphysics important in the human pursuit of truth? Demonstrate your answer by using examples from the two philosophers. Tell me how they understand reality. Metaphysics is the study of how the world really is. And you can find this in the course textbook in page 55. One of the first steps taken by Plato and Aristotle to answer the question of how the world really is, they first asked themselves, what is the world made up of? They both came up with the conclusion that the world was made up of many substances. One who did not take the same approach as them is Spinoza. He did not believe that the world was made out of many substances, but rather that there was only one substance. He says everything which exists either in itself or in something else. What exists in itself is the one main substance, and what exists in something else is just the modes or the attributes from that one substance. There cannot be more than one thing that makes up the world, because then we would not know where things commence, nor would we find similarities from one thing to the next, according to Spinoza. The knowledge of substance in metaphysics is important in finding the truth, because it gives humans the foundation of what exactly it is that they're trying to grasp. Another topic that Plato brings up in metaphysics is found in his allegory of the cave. In the allegory of the cave, there are some people that are stuck in a cave in which they only see the shadows of the things that pass by behind them. It is until one escapes and sees the real world. Let me see a little depiction. In reality, this is backwards, but we see things differently. Plato believes that most people are stuck in the cave, and it is not only till they really search to be enlightened, so to speak, can they actually see what is real, or what is truth, so to speak. One who takes a different approach to finding the truth is Descartes. Our authors from the course textbooks believe that Descartes actually drove himself into the cave rather than trying to get himself out at the beginning. Descartes doubted everything he thought he knew, and found out that if there was one thing that was true, is that he himself existed. Another thing that we explored during the semester is fallacies. And that goes into question number 5. In our increasingly polarized political and religious landscape, arguments are often made without careful attention to correct philosophical reasoning. Our textbook called such mistakes fallacies. What is a fallacy? And what are 3 of the more insidious fallacies that you observe being used by thought leaders today? The word insidious means that something is subtle or understated, but for that reason all the more dangerous. A fallacy, according to the textbooks, is unsound or invalid arguments. Fallacies certainly look at times like they are persuasive arguments, but they lack something important, which is reason. The textbook talks about many different types of insidious assertions, such as mere assertion, begging the question. Insidious fallacies, such as mere assertion, begging the question, vicious circle, distraction, and many more. During our partner exercise on the fallacies, we found in the Clinton and Trump debate, we concluded that one of the most used fallacies was that of the ad hominem. The ad hominem is a personal attack during an argument. At one point, Trump said that Hillary did not fit the standards of president because of the way she looked. This is a personal attack on her physical image. Attacking her persona was not something that was constructive in the argument, and Hillary too fell into the trap of the fallacy of the ad hominem by putting Trump's name in terms such as trumped up and trickled down. Mere assertion is another insidious fallacy that was not only found in the debate of Clinton and Trump, but it is often found used by many other leaders. In mere assertion, people are stating opinion. Though a thought leader may accept a certain position, it does not mean that it automatically makes it right. A third fallacy that is often found in debates is that of distraction. In the case of the fallacy of distraction, the person talks a lot about a certain topic but never gets to the point of the answer, which was asked, of the question that was asked. It may seem like the person in the debate is very knowledgeable on the topic because they have a lot to say, but you realize at the end that they really never actually answered the question. This type of fallacy is often used when time is of the essence, because if the person debating runs out of time, they can slip into the next question without ever actually answering the previous question asked. The other question and final question that I chose to answer is number 6. By its very nature, philosophy reflects on religious questions. Who or what is God? Who are we? What is the world? And how do we relate to it? Is there a purpose to life? What is truth? And how can we find it? Is truth revealed? In this question, reflect on the difference between philosophy and religion. To answer the question, think about which discipline, religion, or philosophy is more foundational than the other. Do the two approaches answer questions differently? Do they ask the same questions? Again, be sure to demonstrate your answer by using the samples from the assigned readings and other posted exercises. Some people believe that philosophy and religion go hand in hand. Others think that there's no bridge between them. One philosopher who thought that religion and philosophy had their differences is John Wisdom. He gives a depiction of his understanding by talking about a garden in which healthy plants grow and while the two owners are away. One of the owners believed that the presence of the healthy plants can be attributed to a gardener that was unseen. The other says that there is no gardener. The gardens are both the same, but the attitudes they take towards how they feel about the garden is different. John Wisdom claims that the essential feature of religious belief is a certain attitude that the religious person has towards their surroundings, while he finds religion as something that deals with feelings based off his quotes. He finds philosophy to be part of the scientific quest. He does not see the bridge between science and religion. He thinks that they are totally different things. One of the most known scientists by the name of Albert Einstein begs to differ. He says that it is religion that growed his appreciation of science and led him to more discoveries. It seems to be that religion and philosophy go together, and not one is more foundational than the other. Rather, they are both integrated within each other, and they ask the same question. As we observed in my fellow classmates' video on Kaiji Nishitani, religion leads to a greater understanding of ourselves and the entire creation. One of the greatest objectives of philosophy is to reach a greater understanding on things, and it seems like religion has the same objective in mind. Kaiji clarifies that in order to reach a greater understanding, one must not ask why religion exists, but rather why we exist. Religion is tied to life. That will be all. Thank you, and I hope you have a great summer.